to the Postmodern Art Podcast, the podcast dedicated to giving artists who are wowing the world over the platform they deserve. I'm your host, Nathan Ragland, and this week's episode, as we come alive once again, I'm here to bring you a monster of an episode with today's fantastic guest. Today's guest is AlpineShowTime, a Frankenstein VTuber sewing together incredible models, stunning designs, and just fun times all around. Alpine is someone that I have been seeing prominently just with the creativity that he exudes alone and the things that they bring forward, like more than anything else. It's absolutely incredible. Plus, I've been seeing them show a little love and support, so I wanted to make sure I show that back to them and then some. And I think today's episode is a perfect punctuation of that. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you show love and support for Alpine with the links down in the description below, especially their Twitch. Seriously, their Twitch streams are something else. If you enjoyed the podcast, make sure you like, share, subscribe, or follow whatever audio streaming platform you prefer. Leave 5 stars wherever you can. I see that stuff and I absolutely love it. If you want to go further with that support, maybe you should consider going to our Patreon at patreon.com/PMAP. For as little as $1 a month, you can get exclusive behind-the-scenes access, early access to episodes, bonus episodes as well. I know I really need to get to work on that, but I would greatly appreciate just whatever little support you can give. And look, if all you're looking for is a cool place where you can talk about the incredible guests, share your own incredible artwork, and just have a good fun time, maybe you should consider joining our Discord server, the Artist Sanctuary. The group that we have really culminated in that space has been absolutely wonderful. The art I've been able to see from them, I cannot get enough of, and I think you would be a wonderful addition to that group today. But now, without further ado, please enjoy the Postmodern Art Podcast.
How are you?
Wow, all right, after good formalities. No, I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm good.
That's good.
Again, as I mentioned, I just got like a brainstorm with a really cool idea, and my poor mods, they literally, I was texting them, I'm like, guys, this is the next thing I want to do, and everyone's like, okay, Alpine, I love you, but this better, like this idea, and you know what's worse is I convinced them that it was a cool idea, and all the mods are like, that's fucking awesome, but don't do it.
That is so infuriating when like I have this incredible idea, I really want to implement it, but I know in my heart I really shouldn't because I'm still working out the stuff that I've been putting into my stuff.
Like I could, here's my pet dog.
Oh yeah, I do. Hi.
Yeah, that's Wolfie over there. Don't mind him.
Well, you say don't mind him, but I mean we are gonna at least mention him at some point. He's got to be part of the conversation.
He's my dog. And then this is my famous one. Everyone loves this guy.
Yeah, everyone loves a good Galvini.
Oh, there you go. See, I didn't even gotta say it. Isn't that right, buddy? Do I have the voice changer on? I probably do.
Easy. Yes, you have the voice changer. Hi, Postmodern. How's it going?
It's going well. How about yourself, Galvini?
You got money?
Oh, I love the little guy. I love him.
Can you stop asking everyone you meet if they have money? Are you...
I mean, to be fair, have you seen my PNG model? He exudes I have money energy.
Let me take a look at him. Let me get a good peek.
Do you not see the $sign on the hat?
Yeah, hold on. That's a rich individual. There we go.
So, if the interview goes really well, maybe I have like a quarter for you. How about that, Galvini?
A quarter? You get that, buddy? You're going to get a quarter. Is a quarter enough?
Yeah. I need money.
Oh, I knew I picked a good guess for this week.
Standards are low. Don't mind him, though.
Hey, you know what? Money is money.
Oh, God.
This is already gonna be great. Thank you so much for doing this, especially on fairly short notice. But yeah, I knew I've certainly noticed you like beforehand. I noticed whenever you were showing a little love and support for the podcast here and there and whatnot. So I wanted to show that love back. And of course, the one stream hearing, I've never been on a podcast before. I'm like, he is reading my mind because I was thinking,
Before I was a VTuber, I was like, I would listen to animator podcasts and stuff, and be like, man, those comic artists, it's probably cool. Like a little kid me would be like, yeah, one day I'm gonna be in a podcast, and I'd be like, I'm rich and famous like my Galvini. I don't know. I was a silly kid. Yeah.
Well, now look at you. You're on a podcast as well for the cool art stuff
Thank
you're
you,
doing.
Post-mod. How should I refer to you? How do you want me to call you?
Either Nathan or Post, whichever one you prefer. Because I mean,
Nathan
a lot.
Or Post?
Yeah, because everyone in the VTuber community calls me Post, but my name is Nathan. So whatever you're comfortable with.
Should I be the first to say Nathan?
It wouldn't be the first. Again, whatever you're comfortable with. I'm not going to be harsh on you have to call me by this specific name and that's like.
Okay.
At the end of the day, this whole conversation is meant to be a calm, cool, casual conversation about your art, what you're producing, stuff like that.
You.
So just be laid back, be cool about it.
Easy peasy.
Wolfie, you fucking don't ruin this for me, okay?
This guy sucks. I hate him.
Don't fucking ruin this for me.
Wolfie, I haven't even said a word to you. How could you hate me already?
I hate every human.
Sorry,
you know what? Valid
my
point.
dog. I didn't find him in an animal shelter. He was a stray. I should have took him in.
But the good person in you was like, yeah, but I have to support the guy.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was surprised. It's like you sent me a whole Discord server. It's like postmodern art with Alpine. I'm like, oh shit, this is a whole server. Even though it's general in BC, I'm like, fuck.
Like that's.
Oh, is this swear? Oh, I should ask that. Is this swear free?
Oh, I don't give a fuck. Go for it.
Oh, bad. Okay, cool. I mentioned this once. Yeah.
Oh, you go first.
Okay, I was just gonna say, there was the monster prom thing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it was like, I think it was a no swear because I noticed one of the people had a bleep sensor whenever they swore. I was like, shit, because I didn't expect to get first place for that. So when I got it, I was like, fuck, what the fuck? Fuck. And then it was like, oh, shit. I mean, sorry, shit, sorry.
It's like, fuck, shit, god damn it, fuck, god, shit.
That was That's one of the most embarrassing moments of my career.
But it's also one of the most rewarding experiences. Let's be honest.
That was very rewarding. I was going through a tough time during that.
Oh well, I'm glad to hear that came in when it came in clutch when it did more than anything else.
It did.
I did at least want to mention that because if nothing else, like one of the things I do definitely want to talk about is like when it comes to your model, all the different designs and all the different like outfits you put for yourself or whatnot, and especially the outfit that you did for the monster prom or whatnot. Like, oh, that was just freaking stunning. There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Good,
I like this one.
It's a nice one. It's a very nice one. Like I'll definitely mention it. So there we go.
Hell yeah! Everything about my rig is fake though. Like this is not real. My arms, this is not real. My body, it's not real. Hair, not real. Other hair.
You mean to tell me that? You mean to tell me that VTubing is fake?
Yeah, it is fake. It's very fake. Even this face is fake. People think that this face is like a completely. No, this is still like the normal model.
Oh,
if I could pin it, please. Thank you. There you go. See.
Oh, jeez.
There's my. I'm like a magician.
Yeah. He's a magic man.
That's me.
All right, Alpine. Before we get this show on the road, I must ask the icebreaker question of the podcast, if I may. Let's say you get to go to a desert island on your own accord. It's just you alone with your thoughts. You get to kick back, relax, breathe. Get to truly enjoy yourself a little bit. With accommodations, you're not stranded on this island. It's a vacation more than anything else.
Okay, so I can go to the store if I want to.
you could, but I mean, again, you have accommodations. Everything you're going to need is probably going to be there.
Okay.
Yeah. But to help with whatever vibe you want to go with on this island, you can bring one piece of media or one piece of art with you to help with whatever headspace you want to be on this island. If given this opportunity, what would that one piece be?
I'm going to assume that I live here for the rest of my life. Like, I'm having a good time.
You can if you want.
Okay. Because... I don't know. I need to financially stable myself still. One piece of media, and what was the other one piece?
Or one piece of art. Just anything that's either media or art that is within the realm of the selection here.
Interesting. Man. Because if I bring a computer, then that shit's gonna die. I'm a big Little Big Planet guy.
Okay.
Little Big Planet's one of my favorite video games of all time. and it's actually a starting point of my creativity when I was a kid. And if
Okay.
I had any chance to play that game for the rest of my life, I would. I would.
I mean, absolutely, because I remember that game, or at least like one of them. I think it may have been Little Big Planet 3, maybe that I played.
Oh
I
no,
don't,
not that one.
or 2. I can't. It's one of the Little Big
Who's the
Planets.
good one?
Either way, I remember playing one of the Little Big Planets. It may have been the original one for all I remember, but I just remember just like the fun that those games always had, like the little creativity when it came to like how the like the levels were designed, or like the aesthetic that they try to push for or whatnot. Like that is one of the most like aesthetically pleasing games to ever exist. Period.
And there'll never be a game like that ever again. Never.
No, I don't think there ever would be. Sadly.
Yeah. You can do what you want. Even I did. I worked on a game too, trying to remake it.
Okay.
You could search it up. Pixel Creative Restitch. It's kind of a spiritual. It's very inspired by it. It's its own game though.
Okay. Interesting.
Very cool.
Interesting. But nevertheless, Little Big Planet. That is your answer. You're locking that in.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right then.
Because why not?
Because why not? Well, why not think of a better way to start the Postmodern Art Podcast? Welcome, everyone. I'm your host, Nathan Ragland. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, or follow whatever audio streaming platform you prefer. Leave 5 stars wherever you can. I see that stuff. I absolutely love it. And follow us on Twitter and Instagram at PostmodArtPod for future updates and guest announcements, including today's guest. He is a Frankenstein VTuber sewing together stunning models, incredible designs, and good times. Welcome to the podcast, Alpine Showtime!
How's it going?
How are you doing on this wonderful Sunday afternoon that we are recording?
I bought a lot of pasta. They had a deal in the grocery store. $5 you get 3 like bags of pasta.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
It's a steal.
That is a pretty good steal.
And it's big too.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Is it like the egg noodles or whatnot, or is it because I know there's like
just a no-name brand fettuccine.
No, fettuccine. There you go. That's for. I was gonna say I know like when my dad likes to make what is it like chicken like a. I don't know, like beef stroganoff or chicken stroganoff. He gets like the frozen like egg noodles or whatnot in like good sized bags or whatnot, and like those are fills me up. Before we really divulge too much into just food talk in general, I want to say I really do once again appreciate you taking time to be here. You are someone that I've certainly noticed well before you started interacting with me when it comes to how you present yourself and like the cool stuff you've been doing or whatnot, and seeing you show the love and support. I wanted to give it right back to you because I mean obviously I'm talking to a really cool artist right now, but before we really divulge into the art and the VTubing stuff that you're doing nowadays, I want to go back just a little bit and know more or less the origin story of Alpine, or maybe the person behind Alpine. What got you interested in art in the first place?
Oh man, this history goes deep. When I was a kid, I used to love watching. Have you seen like Normal Boots? You remember that? That was like a thing. Peanut Butter Gamer.
Yeah. Okay. I know what you're talking about. Yep.
They had this whole channel, Peanut Butter Gamer, JonTron. It was like that was my childhood. And I was like, oh man, I love these silly game reviews. But as a kid, what was it? I also played Little Big Planet, which made me make a lot of OCs, as I mentioned earlier. And all my Sack Boys were like different characters. Fun fact, actually.
I'm one of them.
Oh. Okay.
So. It's a bit interesting looking back at that. Am I forgetting what I'm gonna say? Where was I going with this?
Oh, you were talking about.
That's how I started.
There you go. Awesome. I mean, the fact that it started like there. I mean, again, I'll be honest. I used to watch a good bit of JonTron like growing up or whatnot, and like the way I loved it. The way like the creative and just humor that he had or whatnot. But the but the I
was inspired by it.
Fair enough, but like especially like the Little Big Planet, like especially that kind of like more or less like sandbox that more or less allowed you. Like I can only imagine like a game like that, like you mentioned obviously in the icebreaker question, how much of a foundation that could have been just for like your creativity as a whole.
Huge.
Yeah,
huge.
I didn't even realize that. Again, Wolfie for the audio listeners that are wondering what that deep voice was. Like
I have a family here, by the way, guys.
Like I didn't realize that Wolfie was one of those OCs. Can you think of some of the other OCs that more or less like left an impression on you based on Little Big Planet?
Because the thing is, none of them kind of like evolved to Alpine Showtime. Wolfie was the only one. And even then, he looks really differently back then.
Okay.
And to explain further for people who don't know anything about Little Big Planet, it's a game where you get to create whatever you want. You get to decorate your Sackboy, you get to color your Sackboy however you want. They have a thing called stickers. You get to stamp whatever stickers you want on him. And that stuff is really cool. And what I would do as a kid, I would hang around the Sonic OC guys, but I didn't like Sonic. I couldn't care less about Sonic. But those people love Sonic, so they had their Sonic OCs, their other Sonic stuff. And I was making I was like, oh, I'll make, I don't know, random ass characters. And hopefully they'll like them. It taught me how to be creative with art and as well as like technical skills, because there's also logic in Little Big Planet, which think of it like visual programming. Where you make video game levels in the game. Right. And as a kid, every night from school, I would go on Little Big Planet and I would make a level and no one would play it and I didn't care. It was perfect. But how does this lead to the art side? Well, after that, and I wanted to make a YouTube channel, but that creative side of Little Big Planet was still with me and I had those characters. I always had this dream of making animated characters, but kind of like a Peanut Butter Gamer or JonTron style YouTube channel as a kid. And so I got GIMP and I got Blender as a video editing app and I just made some random videos and I sucked at it, but who cares? It made me who I am today.
I mean, we all got to start somewhere. I mean, trust me.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, this podcast alone, I could tell you, like, compared to the audio or the video recording, video editing software, when I first started, I was using this, like, off-brand, like, cheap, not even free, but, like, cheap editing software called Movavi, if you ever even remotely heard of that. And it is not great. It is very basic and bare bones at best. But like, again, we all got to start somewhere. And it's interesting to know like how all in when you kind of went with this. When did for you go from this like just general love for like the YouTubers and for like Little Big Planet and the art in general to a passion and wanting to make it your career?
So fun little fact. My father actually worked at Disney in Canada when there was Disney in Canada.
Okay.
And you can already see that's like, oh shit, it's all coming together now. So my dad would be like, hey, Alpine Junior, let's go and like, it's like, don't worry about your YouTube dream. Let's go to like a festival for animation in Canada.
Okay.
And we're gonna show you all the industries and stuff. And I'm like, oh man, this is exciting. I can actually work on a TV show I like as a kid. And then, it's like, all right, my dream is to get into animation college. And I worked really hard, but I worked too hard in my high school years. That's the problem was I worked way too hard. I was too passionate. I overworked myself every single day. And when it came time for me in animation college, let's keep it simple and just say that when I got there, COVID hit and everything I was promised in person was online.
Oh, that is, that has to be, that's not, that has to be, that is the worst time to really get to college, right when that stuff goes down. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, and I recently dropped out.
Okay.
And I need something to kind of waste my time. And, people like my content, they like my rigs. And ever since I started VTubing, it makes good pocket money. I'm just going to see if I could do full-time. Who knows? Okay.
Okay. That's awesome to hear more than anything else. And, I mean, like, it's incredible to know that, despite the circumstances that either you put yourself through or outside forces that you have no control over, it's good to know that you're still trying to keep a positive mindset and like keep persevering and do incredible stuff like you're talking about with the VTubing or whatnot. So, yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy.
No, trust me, I'm right there with you. I am right there with you. But, something I did want to touch on something else that I noticed a little bit before we really go all in like the VTubing and stuff like that. Because something that I've certainly noticed is on top of like the games you're talking about, like Sackboy or obviously the YouTubers or whatnot. I figured at least a good blend of the two that you seem to at least have an affinity towards is like Flash animated games or whatnot. Because I noticed that you seem to have like affinity. So that does any Flash games like that really have an influence on you and your art journey and how you portray yourself today?
I was a Newgrounds kid, and the problem with Newgrounds is it ruined me.
Yeah.
If you've seen Newgrounds, you know.
I was
You've seen things you shouldn't have saw as a kid.
I didn't really know about Newgrounds until like I really went on in with the Arfield and whatnot. But I knew of the
Yeah.
like one of the off-brand websites, like Congregate, if you remember that website. Like
I
the Flash
had
game.
an account to
So
just
you
play
know.
games. I didn't make games.
Yeah. Fair enough. The only reason I brought that up because I remember like recently there was like a rig that you were trying to tease around with of like a stickman rig or something like that. Oh wait.
Yeah, let's go get it. Come here, buddy. Why tease it when you could just... Hi! How's it going?
It's just incredible for me that you're able to make something like that. Seems so animated too.
Thank you. Bah! Yeah.
That's why I was wondering just how much of an influence, like, because again, like I was thinking back to like the games, especially like YouTubers and stuff like that, like having that kind of influence. I can only imagine like being on the internet, Flash games like that had to be like a strong part of it.
Yeah. Get out of here, Galvini. I really loved Xiao and Stickman stuff, like those Stickman animations, but I couldn't say they affect what I did.
Okay.
I just liked them. They're cool.
Fair enough. I imagine obviously more of the influence was obviously like the animation and stuff, especially whenever you introduce you that kind of stuff. Can you think of some of like the animated stuff that truly like inspired you more than anything else?
So back in the Stickman thing, when I was a kid, they had what was it? The Stickman videos, they would always give a link to Flash 8. Always. They'd be like, here's a media fire link to Flash 8. I'll admit it. I downloaded that copy of Flash 8. And I would search up speed paint videos. And though I didn't watch much of the Flash animations the animators did, I'd watch like the speed art of the animators. Of course, you can get like the classic ones. Like maybe I'll be watching the Game Grumps video where Eager Raptor's explaining Polka Awesome. And when he made that. And Polka Awesome, you already know like the history of that one. That one's it's fun.
Yep.
It's fun.
Pikachu. No.
I like that comedy.
Oh, it's great. I mean, especially in that especially at that age of the internet, at that time in the internet where it was a lot more Wild West, like just people just putting up just funny stuff.
Everything by everyone. That was the catchphrase.
And then of course everything by what the ads dictate. That's what it is nowadays.
Algorithm is Twitter's pissing me off, guys.
Trust me, I'm only just like scratching the surface when it comes to monetization and stuff like that. I'm like, oh dear God, why do I have to work with these rules? I'm pushing out like
Musky boy, you're silly.
Oh goodness. So I have to know, like, I know you were mentioning, when it comes to like animation, especially when you were trying to be a part of that when it comes to your college experience and like how that more supports you out. I have to know, when did streaming become a part of the factor when it comes to your art journey?
Okay, this is a funny story. And I will always admit this because everyone who knew me before I was a VTuber knew this about me. I saw VTubers, I'm like, this is stupid. Because when on the outside, it looked like, if you didn't know anything about VTubers, on the outside, it really looked like, anime girls being like, hey, look at my boinkers. And then the boinkers, boop, 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 boop. It's like, here's $1 million. That's what it looked like on the outside. So I told myself, I was like, all right, I'm not going to do this. My girlfriend's like, no, it's really cool. You got to believe me. It's really cool. And then my college friends were like, man, you're really fun to watch whenever you stream to us on Discord. Because I used to stream games to my friends on a private Discord server with me and my IRL friends. Even games, art, games, you name it. But since I was such a fast artist and since I'm very crazy with my OBS setup, and I would stream my PS Vita games on OBS, and that's kind of what inspired my OBS setup to be a little crazy. Fun stuff like that. So one day when things were going down, I lost someone very important to me in real life.
Okay.
And at that time, I had to hang around the graveyard. Every weekend would be in the graveyard. So one day, some dark comedy hitting me. It's like, imagine a grave robber. Imagine being a grave robber. What would they steal? And then that's kind of where it pitched in. It's like, Frankenstein. Frankenstein. What if I was Frankenstein? And so there's some kind of darkness in me. It was like, imagine if I was Frankenstein and brought this person back. And, It has that weird dark history to it, but it's made something a bit beautiful with it. And then here we are now.
Yeah, here we are now. I was gonna say, like, I can certainly see, obviously, the more or less, like you were saying, like how it sort of developed into this beautiful beast in front of me. I have to know, because, like, you know, Frankenstein, as popular of a figure that, you know, they are or whatnot, it's not really something that I imagine people would take like inspiration from, especially like that. Like, how much were you like familiar, at least like comfortable with like the Frankenstein material before you decided you wanted to like take on that as part of your persona?
There was a movie.
It was a movie?
There was a movie called Frankenthumb. When I was a kid.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I remember that thumb series.
Yeah. I had the DVD as a kid, and I loved that DVD. I cherished it. I thought it was so funny. I thought it was like, Pepper! No, Pepper! You know, and there was all kinds of silly things in that movie. And I was like, man, Frankenstein, how come I never see people talk about Frankenstein? All the movies are about zombies, vampires, mummies. I don't see no cool Frankenstein thing. And if it's Frankenstein, it's like, man, put it on like cereal or candy or something, you know? So I was like, okay, this is such an underrated thing. What if Frankenstein's a good one? Because, and I didn't even think of the body swapping until like way later.
Okay.
I have this representation. I imagine people are going to be listening to this and not see it, but I can rip off my head. Yeah. No other VTuber could do this. I have the biggest wardrobe.
Yeah.
There's someone to challenge me who has a bigger wardrobe than me for their VTuber. I would like to see it.
Well, I mean, it certainly doesn't hurt that, you know, as an artist yourself, like, you could just add more outfits, like, almost on a weekly basis.
I could add a new outfit every minute.
Yeah, you really could. You really could.
And I'm not bragging. There was an Inktober where I would literally every day make a new outfit. That happened. And I pulled it off.
There you go.
Flawlessly. But yeah, so we had that, and then I was like, okay, we're gonna research a lot of Frankenstein. I read a lot of source material. I'll give you an example of one of the big Frankenstein themes is you would be a bit surprised, the Galvinis.
The Galvinis, okay.
And to explain the Galvinis.
Yo. I'm Galvini.
This is the Galvini voice?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Galvini. Hi, Post Magazine Podcast. Hi, everybody. It's Galvini. I'm gonna tell you a bit about my sister.
Galvini is named after the Italian scientist Luigi Galvani.
Right, I remember seeing something like that.
That is how deep I researched. Yeah. So I actually went on archive.org. I searched up Frankenstein science, and I discovered galvanism. And on the bus to work, I would read a book about galvanism.
Oh, wow.
Until I got an idea I can use. And I was like, this is going to be my mascot. And now, my most famous mascot, the Galvini. They're cute. They're these little Frankenstein frogs.
Yeah.
They're fun. It's fun.
I remember seeing you like mentioning once of Luigi Galvani or whatnot. I remember like seeing it, but I didn't think much of it because I didn't know much about it. But now hearing, obviously, you know, that is the influence for your most popular mascot. That has to be unique. Thinking back on it, it's like, yeah, this legendary scientist or author or whatnot is the inspiration for two little frogs with a funny voice.
It's so weird because you wouldn't think of it. Right?
Right.
And that was my goal is I always thought Frankenstein, because zombies, they always did something interesting in zombies. Like, this is zombies, but they run. This is zombies, but they're smart and they talk. This is zombies. But Frankenstein's like, nah, it's a monster. He's stupid. It's always like that. And it's like, oh, well, you could do something like, bro, no one ever looks deep into it to get a bit creative with it. So it's like, well, I'm going to look so deep that I'm going to find something that no other Frankenstein creator has ever done. And I'm actually quite surprised that no one's ever done it. Yeah. Now that I've like executed it, you'd think that since the science is so involved with frogs, because so galvanism, for those who don't know, it's the act of using electricity on muscles to get like a reaction.
Right.
But it was commonly tested on frogs, so that's why they're frogs.
Mm-hmm.
And oh god, they have a huge history. The Galvinis, I could.
You could dedicate probably just like an entire, like, we could dedicate an entire episode alone just talking about the lore of the Galvinis.
Honestly, they're a whole nother beast. They're a whole nother beast.
Absolutely. And I just also gotta say, I love how this whole entire persona that you've had for yourself or whatnot
Mm-hmm.
was inspired by both sadly the death of your friend and also Frankenthumb. I'm not gonna back away from that just for 1 second because I remember that Thumb series, especially on Cartoon Network when they would show like some of those films. I remember vividly, or not vividly, but I remember very prominently the Star Wars one and the
Yes.
or the Godfather.
Gotham was my favorite.
and also something that I recently learned due to research for a whole other different thing or whatnot. Apparently, if I remember correctly, those films were done by the same person that did Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius.
Yes.
Same person.
Yes, it is.
I remember this because one of the people that is a very prominent voice actor or Thumb in that is Mark DiCallo, who, for those who don't know, is the voice of Hugh Neutron.
It's so good.
It's
so good.
The layers are several thumbs deep. I think that's the.
It's fun, and there's like other movies too by that guy. He did Kung Pao, which is one of my favorite comedies of all time. I love it.
Oh, it's great.
I love it.
I was gonna say, like, for me, honestly, personally, like the most I could really think about Frankenstein before I got a little bit older was there was a Wishbones episode on Frankenstein. Like they retold that story. So
Wishbones. That's new.
Oh, you never heard of Wishbone?
Wishbone. No.
Wishbone was a kids TV show in like I want to say like the mid to late 90s or whatnot, to where like it started like a dog, but like the dog would like be transported into like these historical stories like Frankenstein, the Odyssey or whatnot.
Oh.
And like the story that they would tell would be very similar to like the real life situation that the dog's like owner would be like going through or whatnot. Like it was supposed to be like a parallel kind of thing. Like it was really cool and really innovative.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sorry, I like switching.
No, that's good. I'm grateful that you switched because that could have also kind of switched into the next topic or whatnot. So it's incredible.
New outfit every switch.
Well, it's like I appreciate like the whole entire Frankenstein aesthetic because that was like a major conversation I was gonna have. But like another thing that especially people come to know you or whatnot, we mentioned it a little bit, but you're very prominent when it comes to your style that you like to present for yourself with like this Frankenstein's monster. Because if you wanted to go just like bare minimum effort with this Frankenstein's monster, you could just have like the dirty mangy like just original outfit of like old clothes that that Frankenstein tossed on the monster or whatnot. But you like to put a lot of thought and effort into the style that you like to present yourself with. What is it about style that like creatively gets you going, especially with this VTuber model?
You talking like art style? Or are we talking like outfit?
Both. But
Both?
I'm focusing more on the outfit aspect, how that like creatively gets you going.
All right. It's good that you asked me this now because this is actually brand new. Had you asked me literally like 2 weeks earlier, we would never have a conversation similar to what we're gonna have now.
Okay.
Recently, here I'll share my first model, but I'll talk about it while I'm getting it up.
Okay.
My very first outfit was this super. I'm gonna say it. I don't like. It's a bit revealing.
Yep.
Here, the very first outfit was this like mad scientist lab coat, and this is me trying to be as Frankenstein as possible.
Right.
And you can see it has that white lab coat. I have this weird turtleneck and this unsanitary abs poking out. Not a fan anymore. And I mentioned it to my community that I wanted to not rebrand, but if you look at my logo, there's a 2 behind it.
Right.
Because we're at chapter 2. Every year I open a new chapter. And the reason being is I didn't like the attitude the VTuber community was giving at the time.
Okay.
Because, it's so assumed with VTubers. It's like, well, it's a VTuber. You can flirt with them. They're kind of the boyfriend or girlfriend or partner experience. And I didn't want that. So I wanted to rebrand without losing the theme. So I was like, the smart idea is to call it Chapter 2. So I created this outfit, the purple one. And this was supposed to be my sign of showing my community that I've grown up. And this is my new main outfit.
Right.
But now that you've asked me this a week in advance since the new update, and I have a nighttime outfit, and more importantly, a daytime outfit.
Yep.
Pretty much it was inspired by me talking to my mods. And I mentioned this before the podcast that I talk to my mods before jumping on ideas. Just because I like having another input. That's very important when you do art, is having extra input with stuff.
Right.
And I told them, I said, like, I like what I wear. I was like, it looks too gloomy, and I don't dress like that in real life. In real life, I wear like a beret. I wear pink clothing.
Okay. Okay.
But my character I play and the one I dress up as, I wear this like weird purple and this white turtleneck, and it looks dark and stuff. And I wanted to prove a theory. I wanted to prove if I made my brand so strong that I could wear whatever I want and still be recognizable.
Right.
So I made the daytime outfit as a test to prove that out, where people don't care what I wear. They will still appreciate me and my content. And next thing you know, everyone loves it. And you can only try that by trying.
Yeah.
That's the only way to find out. It's a lot of trial and error.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, especially when it comes to just content creation, just as a whole, I feel like that's the story of it at the end of the day, just trial and error. And honestly, like hearing now that that's more or less just a reflection on you, like these outfits or whatnot, like if nothing else, that makes me appreciate like you as a VTuber a whole lot more, because you know it's I can imagine, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like for some VTubers it's probably like fairly easy for them to like disconnect themselves and be like a completely different character when it comes to being VTubing or whatnot. But there's also
wolfie.
but for a lot of VTubers, at least that I've noticed, like a major part of why people enjoy it, because it's just basically themselves just like cranked up to 11 or something like that.
Yeah.
Just a lot of themselves like being interwoven into these like, you know, cool, unique, you know, characters that they just present themselves as more than anything else. So knowing that you are, you know, putting as much of yourself as you can into this fun and quirky concept of being, you know, Frankenstein's monster, you know, playing games but looking stylish as all get out, like that's cool. That is an incredible concept just to say out loud. That sentence I said alone probably would never be uttered in any other circumstance before now.
Oh, I'm the king of the Frankenstein. I like to think that.
Just wait until like the original author of Mary Shelley or whatnot just comes out of the grave and be like, I'm gonna have to fight you on that one.
I didn't get credit for my book, but you're getting credit for mine. Poor Mary Shelley. For those who don't know, Mary Shelley didn't get credit for the book when she first published it.
Right, yeah, because it was that time, you know, female.
It was that time.
But
had they found out that a woman in those years wrote a very famous book, people would have went outraged, and that's poor girl.
Yep. I wonder. No, I'm not gonna say it. No.
Okay.
No, but I mean, like, I also have to know, like, especially, you know, since you've really involved this, you know, style and fashion into like the newer version of the models or whatnot, how important is it for you to incorporate that into this?
Like the outfits and all that.
Yeah.
It's not too important. I'm impulsive. I'm gonna admit it. I'm not. There's no more extra thought than like some people. I get too much credit where it's like, wow, Alpine, you thought really hard on this. No, literally, I just woke up one morning. I was like, I fucking hate this outfit. And honestly, had it not been that I was able to take off my head, I'd literally still be wearing that white outfit. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, you know, what, fair enough.
It's thanks to this that I could just take off my head and then plop it to whatever I want. That I can wear whatever I want as quickly as I want. Sometimes I have streams where I draw the outfit live and I'm like, I'm putting this on. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? And then I wear it. The mid-second I press save. And I'm like, wait, you could do that? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Which is... that shows the incredible, like, beauty of technology these days.
This is a PNG.
Yep.
This ain't a real arm. This is a PNG, and I just clip it. I can move this however I want. I could be like, okay, my arm's like this now. Boom. See, it works. See, I could put anything here now. Or I could like rotate it however I want. And I'm very happy that I could do that. Thank God.
You could have your arm grab your own neck.
Yeah. Easy peasy. Boom. Done. I'm doing it right now.
I especially appreciate the clenched fist. It adds a little bit more. Goodness.
Good job, past me, for thinking of that one.
And, you know, thinking obviously, you know, when it comes to this, you know, cool new model that you've debuted with, you know, chapter 2 or whatnot, like, you know, the thing that you mentioned when it comes to your first model or whatnot, like, you know, I have to know, like, you know, as cool as the first model was or whatnot, how important was it for you to kind of develop this model more and more to where you could be a lot more flexible and entertaining with it?
It's so funny. The little history behind it is completely by accident.
Okay.
So what happened was I had someone in my chat. And I remember them. Someone I admire because they're a very experimental VTuber themselves.
Okay.
And they hopped in my chat and they said, "A Frankenstein VTuber? I'm disappointed. I was hoping that you could like take other VTubers' body parts." And I was like, oh, don't tell me that, because I will do it. So next thing you know, I asked my friend, here, let's give it an example. One of my VTuber children, the McDogs.
Okay.
I have his body, and I made a whole thing, and boom, I could just wear it like that, easy peasy. Boom. That didn't take long.
That did not. No. You've been
So,
working
you know,
out.
Yeah, I would give it away. So it was completely by accident, and I just wanted to test that out. But had that guy not said that, I don't think I would have even thought of it.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
So it's just simple, impulsive things like that. You may think it's like, oh, I've been planning this since day one. No, I literally would be like, and here, I'll show you the very first head. Let's search up Alpine. And I'm sorry for people who are listening to this, but imagine my head is...
Audio listeners love you to death, but Alpine's head is literally floating right now.
My head is floating right now. But here, you can see this was that previous model I just showed you, and all I did was remove the body.
Okay.
And look at that. Oh, it's so weird. I don't like it.
I don't blame you. It's weird seeing styles mesh up. Like, just...
Yeah. Thank God my style's changed a lot.
Yeah, that's another thing I definitely want to emphasize on real quickly. It's just kind of like the progress that your style has had since you even started VTubing or whatnot, and the progress and whatnot. What inspired your style in the first place? Like, what was some of the first influences that really, like, whenever you decided to put pen to, I don't know, digital paper in this case or whatnot?
Yeah.
What were some of the artists that, like, inspired your style?
Very first one. The very first drawing I've ever made in my life. I remember it, and I remember it to detail. The Game Boy Advance copy of Dragon Ball Z Boost Fury.
Okay.
They had an instruction manual, and it was a picture of Goten from Dragon Ball in the instruction manual. I said, the little kid in me is like, I'm gonna draw this, and I'm gonna show it to class and show how talented I am for copying this image. And ever since Akira Toriyama, who did a classic Dragon Ball, I like the Buu Saga, but it's a bit too cool for my taste. I like the goofiness of it. I'll give an example, like stuff like this. You can see like the wide jaw. You can tell that's inspired by like One Piece. So a lot of shonen manga. But here's the thing. Here's the catch. Here's the spice that no one would expect. I worked at one point I worked as a caricaturist.
Oh, okay.
At one point, I worked as a caricaturist for a while too, for like 2 years. So I had a job that required me to draw fast and draw people as goofy as possible.
Okay.
So the style of a caricaturist, combine it with the style of someone who loves manga, and also combine it with the style of Rise of TMNT, which is probably one of the more visible ones.
Oh, there you go. Now that I think about it, I can definitely see that style being influenced in it.
Yeah, put those three styles in a blender, and then that's how I got my style.
Well, there you go. Like, it's awesome to more or less, like, especially the three styles you mentioned or whatnot, hearing that kind of the way that they've blended together and create this, well, to be blunt, Frankenstein's monster of an art style that you have going on right now. I mean, it's great to more or less hear that. And, like, you mentioned that little fact earlier about the fact that you could literally be a Frankenstein's monsters of different VTubers. It has me curious now.
Yeah, why? What do you think, man?
I'm thinking, since you have also done some models for some incredible VTubers as well, and like you could obviously like add your own like different parts from different models or whatnot. What, in your opinion, would be the Frankenstein's monster of a perfect VTuber, or at least like an entertaining VTuber?
Entertaining VTuber.
Like if you were to get like this aspect from this VTuber and like the model of this VTuber or whatnot, like because.
I don't know.
You can attest to this. There's a lot of entertaining VTubers out there.
There is. I hate to admit it. I don't know too much of the hot shots.
Okay.
You know? I hate to admit it. And my girlfriend may be like, oh, I love Iron Mouse or, this stuff. Or then, like, my girlfriend could be like, oh, it's Takahata. Did you know he's the voice actor for Dragon Ball Z Bridges Nappa? And I'm like, what? What? As much as you tell me that, I don't know much about their content. And the thing is, though, I can't give too much of inspo. But I can say for sure about my VTuber children. Who do I like? I'll talk about friends in my circle. I won't talk about those. I guess you could say those more bigger.
Yeah,
I don't want to call bigger either.
The ones that have a lot of backing behind them more than anything.
Yeah, the ones with a lot of backing. For my friends that inspire me, oh man, I don't know. It's hard. Yeah. I don't know. It's just like everyone. I respect them for their own thing. I can't imagine telling my friend, be like, "Hey, buddy, your content," because it's gonna sound like I'm telling my friend, it's like your content would be better if you like person A to B. So I don't know if I'll answer that. I don't know. This feels
valid.
wrong.
That's valid. That's valid. I mean, yeah. To be fair, I mean, they all have.
Yeah.
Everyone is unique and entertaining in their own way. I just didn't know if there was like, I want like, it'd be cool to have like, Grandpa's model, or if I could have like Rocco's, silly one-liner jokes or something like that.
Yeah. Something interesting to know about my brand, and I've talked about this a lot. So even though I say that I can Frankenstein other VTubers models, I'm very careful with the people I choose.
Right.
I'm very careful.
Absolutely.
Again, mostly because I've had experiences where my old OBS redeems. I had a gacha system where you would redeem it and you get a gacha card, of all of my friends. But the thing about the community, you have to be honest with yourself. Not everyone is who they come out to appear to be. So, sometimes you have to ban people that you thought you were close to just because it's like that in the community. Like there's only so much people you meet. But it's hard because then you have, maybe they made a fan art of you and you need to delete the fan art now that they're associated with you, or they had a gacha card and I need to delete that. And my setup is already painful enough. I don't have time to do that stuff.
Yeah, that's
so,
fair.
If I have a clip with me wearing someone else's body and it's like, oh, this person actually was like a serial killer Alpine, I was like, fuck.
You know what? I that's fair. You know what? Maybe we should go away from the other VTubers you can play as. Let's talk about some of your own characters that you play as, because obviously you have the incredible Alpine themselves or whatnot. Like it, but I have to know about some of the other characters. We already kind of mentioned one of them, and that was the original OC themselves, and that's Wolfie. What was like the inspiration to like really like bring Wolfie to life as a character?
All right. Wolfie is, funny enough, Wolfie's more complicated than Alpine when it comes to hit my history with him because of that Little Big Planet thing.
But here, I am the wolf. I am strong and I am badass.
Okay, don't listen. I'm talking about you, but you relax, all right?
Why?
Just because, shush, okay. Wolfie started off as a Little Big Planet character. He was nothing like a werewolf. He was not a werewolf during Little Big Planet. Something to know. Before I was a VTuber, and before I decided to take streaming, I wanted to make a comic about the Wolfie's human form, Orlando Galbit.
Okay.
And the comic would be called Young and Stupid. If you scroll really far down in my Twitter, you'll find comics, comic panels, and like concept art for the comic I was working on way before I was a VTuber.
Okay.
But the main character, his name was Orlando, and when I decided to become a VTuber, I got so invested with the Frankenstein bit. My IRL friends were like, I miss Orlando, what the fuck? What did you do with the previous guy? Who is this Alpine guy? I hate him. So I was like, well, shit. I kind of want him too now because you're complaining about it. So I was like, well, okay. He's a little kid, and the theme, it was called Young and Stupid. It was about an elementary school shonen story. But like all the things kids go through exaggerated. So like there'd be a whole arc about the Nintendo DS being confiscated by the principal. There'd be a whole like anime manga arc kind of deal with that. Okay. But he didn't fit because he was a kid. So, and it's weird too because I'm explaining this to you now that he's a kid, but here, listen to his voice.
I'm a wolf.
That clearly ain't a kid. That's a full-grown ass man. So, in a weird way, AlpineShowTime became kind of a sequel to that story because I wanted to bring that character back. And the only way I thought of it, and I got a DVD of, I went to the store with my girlfriend to watch One Piece film Red, and then I got a DVD of Frankenstein, and one of the movies in it was Frankenstein meets Wolfman. And I was like, Wolfman, werewolves. How would I bring the kid? Wait, what if I just made that kid a werewolf? And so I told my arrow friends, I said, guys, he's coming back, but he's not going to be like you remember him. The Orlando name is gone. His name is Wolfie now. And he's the wolf. And that was just my excuse to bring the character back.
Well, there you go. And quite an entertaining character, to say the least, whenever he does like to...
Thank you. I'm glad that I'm entertaining.
Wolfie, stop it!
What?
You're embarrassing me.
Go on. I wouldn't say embarrassing. I mean, anyways, I mean,
Do you know Alpine wears heart underwear?
Stop it!
There you go. Let's talk about some of the other characters as well. You kind of already mentioned it a little bit, but the Galvini brothers and whatnot. Like,
yeah.
I mean, obviously the influence from Luigi Galvini or whatnot. How did they evolve from just like this cute little mascot that was very involved with Frankenstein's lore to becoming like just part of the regular cast when it comes to Alpine Showtime.
Oh, it's also an interesting one. Galvini was never meant to be a character. What happened was, and this is the classic artist thing of, I need my composition to look good for my illustrations. So when I had my Frankenstein theme, I was like, well, I need something to put in the thumbnails to make my thumbnails have composition. You know, if you put a character, then your eye will look at the character. So I thought of these ideas of these cute Frankenstein frogs I draw in the background art. And just put it in the background, just like kind of how you see it right now. You can't, I can't zoom on it. But you can see in the back, there's like some Galvinis everywhere.
Yeah.
And they were just background art. And one day, everyone was like, I love them. I'm like, what? They're just a drawing. So, I did into something else. I said, I'm going to make them say their name. And so I got the voice, and all of a sudden, I tested out. 3, 2.
Galvini! Galvini! Galvini!
Everyone lost their fucking mind. And again, it's nice that you've contacted me about the interview today, because had you contacted me 2 months ago, there'd be no Galvini rig. They would just be still a background piece. So only just a month ago, they debuted their main model as the Galvini brothers. And it's funny because there's a reason why they're brothers. You may recognize this one as the green Galvini.
Right.
And he's kind of the gremlin.
Give me your money!
3, 2.
Give me your money! Yay, I'm a Galvini! You want to meet my butt
I think you're more than earning that quarter, Galvini.
Yay! Can you have 2 quarters?
Oh.
You're so greedy. Why are you so greedy? Hey, I'm not greedy. Hi, Postmaster.
Hello.
Hi.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you. You give us money. No, we don't need money. No, give us money. Oh, my voice is so mean. I'm sorry.
No, you don't need to apologize. I completely understand.
So back to the characters. That's the audio preview of just
Again, audio. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say this. Audio listeners, if you've made it to this point, thank you. Bless you. But go to the video version. It's so much more entertaining.
just know there's a reason why I asked before this thing. I was like, do you need my video? Because a lot of my stuff is very visual.
And you know what? That's fine. I mean, again, like I said, like the conversation and the questions alone are going to be a lot to get people through. But for the extra bits, yeah, you guys are going to want to go to the video one.
Yeah. But what is it? So funny enough, that green Galvini was the only icon. Okay. Everywhere was just that green Galvini. But the purple one, the brother, the brother. It was funny. One of my friends, they were like, "Man, I see the concept art. You draw the purple Galvini with the green one, but the green one gets all the love." And I was like, "I'm gonna make them brothers, and I'm gonna show them together always."
Aww.
There was a time, and I'll tell you why. So we called them Galvinis, right? Mm-hmm. But the purple one, at the time it would have been, "Oh look, it's Galvini, and who's the other guy?" And that made me so angry. Because it's like they're both. That's like seeing two humans and being like, "Oh look, it's human and the other guy." It's like, what does that make the other guy? Because they're a species.
Right.
They're a species. Right. So I was like, all right, I'm going to make 2 Galvinis so that people know it's a species. But now I'm worried that like if I introduce a 3rd Galvini, they're gonna be like, "Oh, it's Galvini, and who's the other guy?" I swear to God, if that happens.
No, just gotta keep it. It's Galvini, and Galvini.
Yeah, they're just the Galvinis.
Yep.
OC species.
Which is, it's great. I'm glad to know that there's a new species of OCs created thanks to you with the Galvinis. Because I mean, just from that little interaction alone, I'll be honest, yeah. I did not expect to have such a fun interaction with 2 frogs on this podcast. But I love it. I'm so grateful for that little opportunity right there. And then of course, also, like you said, you recently introduced those rigs not too long ago. But another thing you introduced, and another new character you introduced not too long ago, is Damesley.
Damesley! Oh, we love Damesley.
Yes.
You could see the light flicker in my eye as soon as Damesley's mentioned.
How did Damesley come to be, and how did you get her involved with this Alpine family?
Here, Damesley, come down, Damesley.
Oh.
There we go. Can you say hi, Damesley? Say hi. Oh, there you go. See, she's saying hi to you.
Hello, Damesley.
You may not know this, so Damesley's interesting. Damesley's a chat-activated character where when Damesley's on the stream, whatever emote you use, it doesn't matter where it is in the sentence or whatever, she will copy what you're doing in chat as long as you're subbed. So if you say LMAO, she will laugh with you. No matter how many O's you add, she still will laugh with you. She's programmed that way. But to explain the art side of how she's made, it's now a reminder, if you haven't caught anything about me in this interview yet, know that I don't think too hard about my decisions. Right. I do things very impulsively. And Damesley was made for the simple reason of I was tired of drawing masculine characters.
Okay. You know, understandable.
Very simple. Very simple. Wolfie, like, just listen to him.
I'm a man.
You know? Like, come on. That's a buff man. Then you have me. I'm fairly masculine. I dress a bit androgynous. I like my outfit. And then you have the Galvinis, who are just cute little guys. But then I go on Twitter and I see, like, feminine art of, like, you know, beautiful poses, you know, and all that stuff. And I'm like, man, woman. Yep. I need a woman. Yeah. So it's like, okay. I went back to the DVD and I said, all right, Frankenstein meets Wolfman. What are we going to do? Well, this is the Wolfman era. And it seems like I'm leaning to the Universal Monsters thing. And if you haven't caught on now, Damesley is a nickname for damsel with a Y in the end. Damesley is, in every monster, search up Universal Pictures horror movie, I guarantee you'll see a Damesley. A damsel in distress, a monster, always scaring her, and she always in that pose, you know, the one where she's like, I'm dying. Oh, Harold, I'm dying. Damesley is that. And that was my way of being like, oh, well, there we go. That's my solution. Boom, I designed her. Fun fact, she broke. I lost all my progress.
Oh.
And then I redid it again. And this is the Damesley you see again.
I applaud you for perseverance more than anything else. But the thing that amazes me was the thing that you started off with, the fact that this is basically a chat coordinated like little animation or whatnot, like, which is beyond anything that I've seen just about any VTuber do or just any streamer do or whatnot. That is like one of the coolest things I've even heard about. What even inspired you to like, you know, to try something like that? Because I wouldn't even know where to start.
Grocery shopping. It sounds weird. I got my shopping cart. I went to get some groceries so I could cook for me and my girlfriend. And one day I was like, man, wait, when you go on Twitch and you send an emoji, doesn't it convert it to text if you don't have the sub? And that's all I needed. That's all I needed to think about to figure out Damesley. So knowing that, I was like, wait, can StreamerBot, which is if you're wondering how I make these OBS setups, which again, I'm so sorry, audio listeners. In order to do that, I was like, well, I could do that. Would that work? And also, I wanted something simple. I wanted something simple that no matter what you are in chat, I want it to be something where you do by accident. And you're like, oh, she's cute. I laughed and she laughed with me. Oh my God. You know? And if you hate her, you can say bye and she will leave.
Oh.
But yeah. And again, as I mentioned, I lost my progress. Before her original system was whatever chat says, she says. Mm-hmm. I didn't like that. I love my community, but I don't trust newcomers well enough to give them control to control a completely new character and make them. I don't want Damesley to say some fucked up stuff.
That's valid, honestly.
Yeah. So emotes was the smartest method I do because you can't be offensive with your face, you know? So it worked.
Well, there you go.
And it limits our options, and it's easy to understand. I hope it is, at least.
I mean, it's been easy to understand the expressions that she has been able to do, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I love her. She is incredible. Just like the way you have her set up or whatnot, absolutely stunning model. The way that she's able to interact or whatnot, I cannot get enough of Damesley. So
she's my most loved character. You know, it kind of broke my heart. When I first made Damesley, I made a poll, and this was only 3 days after Damesley was announced.
Oh wow!
And I said, guys, who's your favorite AlpineShowTime character? Everyone voted Damesley. 1 more vote than the Galvinis, and like 8 more votes than Wolfie. Poor Wolfie.
No, not like I care.
Yeah, whatever. Wolfie.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're not asking me to pick a favorite because it's hard for me to pick a favorite, especially with today's interaction.
I'm not going to have you pick a favorite. There's more, and my mods, I told my mods about another idea, and I told you before this podcast, my mods are angry at me.
It's like, goodness, Alpine, are you just trying to destroy Twitch in general?
Alpine, stop. You've done enough. I'm the only guy. I guarantee every other podcast is like, this is a cool idea, and their friends will be like, do it. I'm the only guy. I've done too much. My model, no one's ever done it before. Damesley, no one's ever done it before. The Galvini brothers, no one's ever done it before. And I will keep doing that.
I'm just thinking to myself as like other people are like, man, I should do that. Well, then do it. For you, it's like, man, I should do that. You've done enough.
Yeah. That's my mods right now.
Which I mean, like, it's always cool, like, just knowing more or less like how much you're still like tinkering and toying with all these, with everything they kind of do, more or less, like with whether it's adding cool characters like Damesley or Wolfie or whatnot, adding the incredible outfits like the one that you're presenting right now, or the I mentioned before, the one at the monster prom, the absolutely stunning, just like what was it, like Fey wood creature or whatnot, like there you go, with the little Galvini on top as well, nice little touch. Like I have to like imagine, like, at least for you, like I know you're still tinkering and toying with it, but when it comes to like how you've been able to present yourself and how you've been able to stream or whatnot, like are you impressed more or less how much your streams have evolved since you decided to go all in with it?
I could say I'm in this weird era right now where I used to, and I feel kind of embarrassed saying this, where I used to tell people it's like I'm a hobbyist, I don't care about like anything. Like I was happy with 10 people, watching my stuff. I was 50 followers for like a whole year, and then only recently like I've been popping off. And it's weird because now it's like kind of ever since I moved out, and I'm currently unemployed. I'm currently like house husband almost. Me and my girlfriend living in the same room. It's weird to see that Alpine's kind of the only thing I have going on right now that's helping me buy groceries for me and my girlfriend. So to my commissioners, thank you. I'll make some good pasta dishes with what you were giving me. But I've never expected to have such support with the community and the characters. It's weird because I've been doing this for a long time, but at the same time, it was only till I decided to become a VTuber that people started noticing what I am capable of. So it's weird.
I mean,
and that's exciting to me.
I mean, I was gonna say, like, especially for you, like when it comes to the VTuber aspect, like being an artist yourself, being able to, like I said before, tinker with like your design and more or less like showcase your art in all sorts of different ways. Like it's kind of hard for people not to notice you after a while. Yeah,
it's weird, and I feel like people have to always find me by accident. I feel like that's the only way to discover me. It's weird. I swear I'm something original. I swear.
Well, I mean, even then, like, thinking to, like, the streams themselves, because obviously, like, you can showcase this stuff a million different ways, but, I mean, like, you also provide, like I said before, good, fun, quality times for people when it comes to your streams, whether it's, doing art streams, doing fun, gaming streams or whatnot. Like, I have to imagine, like, that community aspect, like you're talking about, like, that has to be part of the fun more than anything else, just, like, the community you've been able to develop, and just enjoy, just, like, great or just goofy times at the end of the day.
It's weird. It's funny because, as I mentioned, my logo at the 2 at the back, community is also a really hard thing too. I remember chapter 1, I was struggling with my community. I didn't like the community I had at the time. It was fun in games, but it was too much fun in games. Like, I would go in a VC in my own place, and someone come in, it's like, oh, look, it's the bottom Alpine, and I was like, I just want to draw, bro. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
So I've kind of enforced my community to be a bit more respectful with how hard I work, and I think that's something. If you listener in the podcast, if you're someone that's, a content creator that feels you don't deserve respect for your community because you think that that's some kind of illusion that they like your content, feel free to establish your boundaries. And if anything, you kind of need to, because everyone deserves to make a stance on how they feel about their community and stuff, even off stream especially.
Absolutely.
It'd be like that.
It do. I mean, that was one of the things that at least the more I got to like get to know about your stuff and get to know about how you've been able to present yourself. That's one of the things I more or less respect about you. The fact that you're able to like make sure you set these boundaries or whatnot. You're pushing out there. Like I said, you're trying to push yourself out there more and more when it comes to how you present yourself. And like that should be the most important thing, especially for you. Like if you like going on this path, I appreciate that you are more than willing to set that boundary down and let people know, hey, we're here for a fun time.
Yeah. It's like Alpine. This is the show. When you get in the show, enjoy the show. When you turn off the show, know that the guy's working on the show. You respect that guy working on the show.
Absolutely. I mean, thinking back obviously to the streams that you've done and the show itself, like I have to know. Like, again, you stream several art or like video games, stuff like that. Is there a particular stream or a particular moment that you can think of that you would at least say is the one that you enjoy the most, whether it be just, or at the very least, like if you were to present this to someone who is wondering who in the world is this Alpine Showtime, you could show them this stream or this clip and they can get a good general idea of what to expect.
The newest clip that, at least the most recent clip that shows my best is there's this clip, just a prime example, and this weird thing too is I don't even show my main model in that clip.
Oh, wow.
But I think it's a prime example of the experience you get with Alpine Showtime is this Kingdom Hearts clip. You may have seen it, maybe not. It's the final boss in Kingdom Hearts, so do spoilers. But I blue screen the background and put myself in the back so it looks like I'm behind the characters in the game. And I put on this voice and this horrifying rig, and I'm like, yes, get him! Show him who's boss! And I'm wearing this horrifying rig. I can show it, actually, because I have it. Because, of course, I have it. Poor people. Here we go. Let's pull it up. It's so for those audio learners, do know that this is a rig made in MS Paint. And this is a really interesting rig. How it works is it spins.
Oh, wow. There it is.
Yeah. There we go. This is the one.
Yes, get him!
This is called the MS Paint rigs, and I have one for all my friends back then. I don't make them anymore. I might do an auction. Just because I need to pay rent. But
Yes, I am the MS Pine Fairy Godfather.
MS Pine. Goodness.
it's wild.
It was insane. And yes, I do remember that clip, just seeing the way you blue screened it and just inserted this creature into it.
What creature? You mean Sora?
I see what you did there.
Oh, man.
That's incredible. I mean, just like thinking back to your just artist and your VTuber journey just alone, like, just within the past couple of years or whatnot, like, again, I kind of asked this, but I have to know, like, seeing how much you've been able to progress, seeing how much you've been able to add to your streams or whatnot, seeing how much you've been able to get yourself out there more than anything else, like, how mentally do you feel like right now when it comes to where you are, like, on this journey? Like, does it amaze you? Are you surprised? Are you just in that mindset of just keep going? Like,
I'm feeling better about it.
Good.
I'm feeling better about it. I mentioned before this podcast, I was actually feeling a bit low at one point, and this is before the Monster Prom thing, where I was like, man, I work so hard and no one else does it, and it seems like, it's not paying off how much work I do. It's like I'm putting 80% of effort, but only getting 20% of the reward because, I still need to buy groceries, I still need to pay rent and do all those adult things,
Right.
And I'm supporting myself. And currently, Alpine Showtime, as I mentioned, ever since I moved out, which was fairly recently, it's currently all I have to pay off that. So I'm trying my best to do full time until I can get work again. So it's something that I'm very grateful for. It's weird. So much has happened, man.
Yeah, no joke. I think whenever I asked you to be on this podcast, I caught you at a very interesting time, haven't I?
Yeah. Again, the fashion, this outfit you're seeing right now, I have two main outfits now, day and night. And they're my two main outfits, and only now would I be able to talk about it. Had it been a month ago, I would have never been a thing.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, like, it has to more or less, like, it just more or less, like, amazes me seeing how much you've been able to develop, like, since I've been able to keep an eye on you and see what you've been able to produce or whatnot. Like, it's incredible how much you've been able to evolve, and that's one of the things I appreciate when it comes to you and your art. The fact that, you're still doing what you can to just have fun with it and just mess around with it and just see what works and see what doesn't.
Yeah. It's so true. The amount of stuff I deleted from my OBS is the best part. I have so much stuff. I delete I delete one redeem from my OBS like per stream at least. And by per stream I mean I delete like 5 redeems, and then the next stream, like next 5 streams, I'll delete another 5 redeems. But in addition, I'll make 5 new ones. People don't know. People don't notice. There was a redeem back then about fighting Wolfie. You could press !attack and you'd fight Wolfie. That existed. Not a thing anymore.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
that's because Wolfie was too OP, right? Wolfie was just dominating the entire competition.
You know it.
Do you want to do the interview, Wolfie?
Maybe I do.
Okay then. Okay.
Ask me a question.
All right. So Wolfie, I have to know, like, when it comes to
Yes.
some of the greatest artists when it comes to history, what are some of the ones that truly inspire you?
There was this caveman. He's a Neanderthal. I think his name was.
You know, I think I recognize that artist before. Is that the one that did like the cow followed by the pig or whatnot, or is that a different?
He's the one that drew the werewolf getting eaten to shreds, and it was the last thing he drew.
You know what? That's a good one. I remember that one.
It's stupid. It's such a stupid bit. Oh man.
But you know what? I'm down for that bit. Just like I'm so down for what you've been able to produce, more or less. Like just hearing the stuff you've been able to add and take away or whatnot. Like it's always been incredible. So for this next question, if I may, I want to go a little bit above and beyond, if I may.
Yeah.
And give you more or less the dream scenario.
Dream scenario.
Actually, can you do me a favor? Can you turn the table again?
Okay. All right. Here.
Because for this next question, I am Big Shot. Oh, hey, Damesley, how's it going? Hi.
Damesley, get out of there. You're singing. Damesley, skedaddle, thank you.
There you go. Now, for this next question, as you can see, I am Big Shot Mr. Moneybags. I'm coming up to you. I'm like, look, Alpine, we know you can do some absolutely incredible stuff. We've seen what you've been able to produce, and you know we think there's potential there. You just need a little extra boost, a little extra platform.
Oh man.
We have access to anyone and everyone in whatever industry possible, and more money than there should be available. We could probably be making sure that, like, you know, so many people have like insurance, so we can, you know, insure stuff like that. But we'll focus on that later. Right now, we are focused on you and you alone. Oh. If given this opportunity, what would be the dream Alpine Showtime project?
Oh my God! Are you telling me that I can get a company? I can have Alpine Corp.
You can have Alpine Corp if that's the dream.
Yo, okay. Because hear me out. If there was a company and all of a sudden it was like, oh, Alpine, we're giving you the chance. You can direct a Netflix show that's the lore of Wolfie. You can have an Igor video game, indie game, RPG developed by a company. And these are different people working on that. They get to work on it and I tell them the lore. Like I'm Shigeru Miyamoto and Nintendo, you know? If I could do that, those two things. Oh, and a third one, comic. If I can get like comic artists to work on the monster, I have a monster. See, I didn't even introduce you to the fifth character who was no longer here. And there's lore of that fifth character that left my series because I just didn't like him anymore.
Oh, that's right. That's correct me if I'm wrong. That's Big Guy, isn't it?
Big Guy. Yeah. Again, Big Guy was a very interesting one. He was actually the Wolfie originally. Okay. This is Frankenstein's monster.
Okay.
And it's so interesting too because we didn't even mention him.
That's right.
That's how much things have changed. And my streams will always be like that. There will be so many things I work on and so many things I will destroy to work on new things. It's weird.
That's true. I mean, but since we mentioned them, if I can real quickly, like, what was the inspiration for Big Guy?
Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, the monster himself.
Valid.
Big Guy was the idea was just like me as Alpine. The joke was at the time was like, Big Guy, you're my son. I hate you. You're horrible. And you know, it's like Frankenstein, right? Frankenstein hates his son. He's not nice to him, and the monster just wants love and peace. And the monster's like, please, why can't you be nice to me, Alpine? This is horrible. But that joke gets so tiring after a year.
Yeah.
I get so tiring after a year. So I was like, okay, if his bit was he's peaceful, the next guy has to be violent. And who is more better than being violent than
me, motherfucker?
as we can tell from the art history, Wolfie. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Don't swear, bro.
I'm not apologizing.
Look, there's only so much we can control. I'll give the pass when it comes to the swearing. Okay.
Oh man, sorry, my microphone disconnected. I'm back.
Welcome back.
I need a new microphone.
Oh, Jesus. No, but okay. So when it comes to like Big Guy or whatnot, like obviously, yeah, I get what you mean by the joke or whatnot. But hearing obviously that there's a good bit of lore going behind it, again, color me intrigued.
Yeah, this if I could get a fucking Alpine cinematic universe where there's a video game about Igor, the one who helped me make Big Guy. Then you have a comic about what happened to Big Guy after Chapter 2. And then you have an animated series about the origin story of Wolfie and how he became a werewolf. Netflix series. And those are 3 separate media outlets. So if you don't like one, you can like the other.
Yep.
And it's like, well, I saw the show. I want to play the game. And in the game, you learn Igor's story. And he's like, oh, man, the game was cool. I want to play the comic. And then the comic is Big Guy's story. and it's like, oh man, I want to watch the streams. That'd be cool. If I had all the money in the world, I'd do that.
That would be cool. We'll also
And
make
also,
sure
if I could pay my rent too with it, that'd be cool.
I mean, that's included part of it, obviously. That's not, we're not going to leave you in the dust and just be like, all right, make this stuff. Good luck with paying for everything. Again, part of Mr. Moneybags. All the money more money than there should be possible. I think we can spare a little for rent. I got you covered.
That'd be so cool.
That would be incredible. That would be incredible. And also, like I said, just to be sure, we'll also get in contact with Universal to make sure that we can secure those rights for you more than anything else.
Universal.
Well, they're the ones ones that have like if I remember, Universal's the one that
Frankenstein.
Has, like, the monster universe. Remember when they were trying to do like the dark cinematic universe with like the Mummy and stuff?
That's so I hear.
Yeah.
But let's face it, my stuff is inspired by Darkstalkers, which was inspired by Universal. That's why I have all these monsters.
Oh, there you go.
No, Universal is still a big inspiration. I have the Frankenstein DVDs.
Oh, there you go.
I think if Universal steals the Galvinis, I'm going to kill them.
What are you talking about? The Galvinis are going to have like their own kids show and like Nick Jr. or something like that. It's going to influence more people to come in.
Nick Jr. Do you know about money? Give me money. I'm a Galvini.
How much money do I have? 1 quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters.
The best thing about Galvini lore, just to give a little bit of OC lore, Galvinis are the richest OC in my universe.
Okay.
Fun fact, the Galvini is very good at investing money, but the lore is he lost his PIN number because he doesn't know how to count.
Oh, Jesus.
So he doesn't know he's the richest character in the whole universe. He just is.
That pains me to hear, but I love it. Oh goodness, that's just. I know it's not the same. It's not the same thing, but it just reminds me of when crypto was like really strong for like a second, and like Bitcoin was like the most expensive thing. One person had like a Bitcoin on like a hard drive or something like that, but they could not remember the password to that computer or whatnot, or the hard drive or whatnot, to the point to where if they had done one more check with their password or whatnot, it would have completely locked them out and possibly like destroyed everything. So they're just so now they just have this computer with a Bitcoin on it or whatnot, and they cannot access it because they don't want to destroy it.
Super Galvini core.
Jesus.
God.
But sadly, we gotta get down from the dream scenario. We gotta get back to reality, and I'll ask the ever so generic question: Where do you hope to see yourself, say, 5 to 10 years from now?
Money. No, I'm kidding.
That's a good start.
I hope that Alpine Showtime. So Chapter 3 is happening. I have the logo done.
Ooh, already?
Let me just say that Chapter 3 is happening. I plan the shit in advance.
Okay.
That's the one thing I plan in advance is the chapters. Chapter 3 is work in progress. The thing is, though, I'm not going to replace any characters with Chapter 3. That's why I'm announcing it now. Chapter 3 is going to have... So I'm really testing my luck here. I'm really testing my luck. Know this about me. I don't think as hard as my ideas as people give me credit for. So, is my glasses fucked up? There we go.
There you go.
So I've been watching a lot of, and this is a weird inspiration. You wouldn't think of it. I've been watching Scarface, Miami Vice.
Okay. Okay.
And I want to have kind of like that like 80s crime Miami vibe for Chapter 3 with the neon fonts, and maybe we could put some future funk and vaporwave in there. And it's nothing like, here's the thing, that's not Frankenstein. What are you doing? Well, the thing is, I established my brand so much, I don't need to worry about the Frankenstein thing anymore. Frankenstein's a public IP.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Mm-hmm. But now I've kind of molded it to my own thing. At the time, back then, Chapter 1, I was like, I'm the Frankenstein VTuber. Chapter 2, nah, I am Alpine.
Yep.
Frankenstein is me. I'm not the other way around.
Season 1, I am Frankenstein. Chapter 1, I am Frankenstein. Chapter 2, I am Alpine. That is also a Frankenstein.
I am Alpine. This is my dog.
Hi.
Chapter 3, we're going on an expedition. Captain Walton from the original book has led us to their ship, and we're going on an expedition to discover the North Pole again because we're bored.
That's the best motivation ever.
We're gonna find the ice kraken, or I don't know. I'll make up the lore at some point.
Oh, there you go. At least you have a good foundation for it more than anything else.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
I'll say I imagine like, you know, again, 5 to 10 years from now, just more of this awesome Alpine funness more than anything else.
And it's really unfortunate because it really depends on how much the community can support what I do. Because as of current, since I moved in, I'm trying Alpine my full time, but and I'm kind of popping off with how much I'm producing, but I can only do that with the help of the community.
Right.
And every sub, every commission, every little thing helps. And the more I can do stuff, the more experimental shit. I like to say this: I want to be the Nintendo of VTubers, and that sounds weird. To explain it, if Nintendo, they're a game company, they always make the console first. The Wii, we made the Wii. What did PlayStation do next? They made the PlayStation Move to compete the Wii. What did the Xbox do next? They made the Kinect. Nintendo is the trendsetters, and PlayStation, Xbox, they follow the trends. And I do my best to see, even if I don't make a trend and I don't pull it off, I will always try. And it's kind of difficult promoting myself like that because, you know, I don't know how people are gonna find me.
Right.
So it always has to be accident, but trial and error.
Well, hopefully opportunities like this one here at the podcast might introduce a few more people to what you got going on more than anything else.
Yeah, thank you.
As we start to wind down the interview, I just have one last question I want to ask you, Alpine. Obviously, you've been deeply entrenched in art for ages now.
Yeah.
How important is art, not just for you, but for the world as a whole?
For the whole world as a whole? Bro, we're built off art. This is a weird thing. I love art history. My community knows this about me. I love art history. I love the Impressionism era, and I feel like the Impressionism era is one of my favorite and most important eras in the art community. I ain't just saying that. I really mean it. It's the era where the Renaissance, for those who don't know, the Renaissance was like, art is realism. You have to do realism. And the Impressionists, they were like, nah, bro. We can draw how we feel, and who gives a fuck how we do it? We can do whatever the hell we want. But, you know, Van Gogh only sold like one painting. Poor guy, though. That guy was a case on his own. I feel guilty about it. Or not guilty. I feel a bit sad for him. But again, like, art is always that. And art can be anything. Who knows? And I really do think VTubing can be an art of its own.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
In the next 100 years. Because, you know, like, it's Spider-Man now. Like, Spider-Man is so known to everybody. But in 100 years from now, everyone's going to be like, Spider-Man? That's old. It's going to be weird. And that can happen same for VTubing, you know? So it's important. It's important that people can express themselves.
Absolutely.
Especially newer, like, I'm part of the spectrum as well as a lot of people in this community. And it's nice that we get to kind of praise who we are.
Yeah.
Right? And that's very important too.
Absolutely. Wonderfully worded, if I do say so myself.
Thank you.
Alpine, that is all the questions I have for you. I've already showered you with a whole bunch of praise, but I'm gonna shower you with a little bit more because it's my podcast. I do what the fuck I want.
I appreciate it.
Look, Alpine, like I said, ever since I've even first heard of you, I knew that there was something unique and different about how you're presenting yourself and how you were, you know, creating such an incredible, fun, entertaining time for everyone that gets involved. You know, and seeing you show that love and support back to me, like, I was honestly honored more than anything else. Just kind of seeing your name and be like, oh my god, Alpine, okay, awesome, that's incredible. Getting the chance to really deep dive into your stuff and really get a good grasp on some of the lore that you have invested in, you know, your characters or just how you present yourself or whatnot. And knowing how much has changed or whatnot, like, it's incredible seeing the growth you've had since you've really started off with VTubing. Getting a chance to sit down with you now, getting to talk to you, get to know your story a lot better, get to really understand, like, how much you're truly putting into this, whether it's planned or whether it's spontaneous. Like, it's incredible. It's incredible to know that there is someone as hardworking as yourself really pushing out, you know, good quality content in one way or another, and good, just good art and good fun times for everyone involved. Like, sincerely, like, I've said it many times before, I'll say it again. Thank you for putting yourself out there, and thank you for making your presence really known. And I sincerely hope that more people get the opportunity to see what you got going on and really get a chance to hitch on board and really be a part of that, because you, in my opinion, absolutely deserve it. You, for everything that you put into this stuff, you deserve a lot more love. So thank you for what you do.
I appreciate that. Thank you. That means a lot.
I'm just being 100% honest. That's all I can do at this point.
I know. I know. I'm not gonna call you a liar. So how dare you? The stream ends like, how dare you say that to me?
As long as you don't get Wolfie on me, I think we're good.
Wolfie,
I'm on everybody.
Okay, relax, man.
Okay. Okay, I'll be sure to keep. Good thing this is a digital interview, because otherwise I would have been dead like 30 minutes ago.
I can fix that if that happens.
Okay, and oh, that's right. Yeah, if something happens to me, you can just reanimate me. Awesome, that's incredible.
What do you think I'm alive?
It's alive. Is it okay? If people are obviously curious on what we've been talking about and want to see more of the incredible showtime that is before us, go ahead and plug yourself for the people at home.
Plug myself? Oh shit! Like names.
Yes.
Sorry, I was thinking like a wire. My name is AlpineShowTime. I'm on Twitch.tv. I am on Twitter, and I'm doing my best to be on TikTok. But my TikTok's small. If you want to like support a small TikTok, there's only 100 people on it. There's only 100 people on my TikTok, and I only get like 90 views per video, and I put a lot of effort into it. So if you want to go support the TikTok at AlpineShowTime, I don't know, at TikTok, whatever. I'd really appreciate that.
There you go.
Thank you.
There you go. Trust me, I'm right there with you. I need to get like the TikTok like going, or I need to get like the YouTube Shorts like going.
It's so random. It's a lottery. It's a lottery. You hit the jackpot or you don't. And if you don't hit the jackpot, keep scratching them cards. I like to call it the video editor sketchbook. That's really what TikTok is to me. You just edit, and you're like, what can I do with editing? Oh yeah, this, and people will watch it. I don't care. You could. My most famous clip, and I hate to say this, is Galvini going like, "Where are you, Galvini?"
Pussy. I'm a Galvini. Pussy in boots. Pussy, 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 pussy.
And that clip popped off, and I'm so angry. Why is that the one? It's just Galvini saying, because I told him, it's like, don't say pussy in boots, and he's like, pussy, 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 pussy. I'm like, ugh, I hate this app. I'm not proud of that.
Look, let's be honest. It's the internet. It is a unique beast on its own.
Internet, I hate you.
Do you have any final words before we sign off?
Guys, what do you say is your demographic audience? It's artists. Would you say?
I'd say it's mostly artists more than anything else.
Artists. Okay. To the artists, guys, don't overthink what you have to do. This is coming from me to someone who overworked himself. I've mentioned earlier in this interview. Mm-hmm. Please, for the love of God, do not overwork yourself. I've been, I manage an art community as best as I can, but I've been seeing a lot of artists where they literally make the tiniest mistake, and they're like, I'm the worst artist in the planet. Guys, lighten up, feel free to ease out and try to have more fun with it. If you like a show, don't, you literally draw a meme of the show, have more fun with what you do. Whether you're a VTuber, artist, or content creator, because you don't want to regret it. You don't want to regret learning the skill, and it's a very important skill.
Absolutely. That is wonderful words to end on, if I do say so myself.
Thank you.
With that, wow, how did I get tongue-tied right at the end? Jesus.
That's okay. That happens to me all the time.
With that, all I have left to say is for the people at home, hasta luego, mi amigas.
Arrivederci.
Tell me what's wrong, tell me sparks in motion. Sing me a song, tell me your eyes can open. Show me it all, pick me up in the car you drove when you used to call. Show me it all.
Thank you so much for sticking around to the end. If this is your first time listening, I greatly do appreciate you getting up to this point. Like I said in the intro, Alpine has been someone that I have been more or less keeping tabs on, and has been showing me some love and support when it comes to the podcast or whatnot. And I cannot tell you how much I greatly appreciate it. Especially seeing the stuff that they put the time and effort towards. I mean, I'm not lying when I say that their streams are some of the most creative ones I've been able to see. Just the amount of effort that they put into it, and the fact that it's always constantly changing or whatnot. After we had recorded this episode, they had debuted their Blood Moon like hype train update thing, and oh my god, dude! If you have not had a chance to see this thing on Twitch, like go to Alpine Stream, get a hype train going. It is insane, and like it's always incredible, like knowing how much time and effort that they're putting into their streams, how much time and effort they're really like, how much time and effort they're putting to cultivate themselves to create a fun experience for both them and everyone that is watching as involved. That's one of the major reasons why I wanted to have them on the podcast. Alpine, if you've gotten up to this point, thank you sincerely once again for being a part of this. It was sincerely like incredible to get to talk to you and get to peer inside your mind for a little bit. I know it's a little easier with the Frankenstein thing and peeling off the head, but that's aside from the point. No. But sincerely, like it always blows my mind seeing creators like Alpine finding a way to go above and beyond with their stuff and like exuding that creativity to the umpth degree. I mean, it's just I can't get enough of it. I can't get enough of it. And it's one of the reasons why I get to enjoy like talking to guests like Alpine, getting to really explore just how creative people are able to go with this stuff and how far they're willing to test the limits of like softwares and stuff. I mean, especially with some of the guests I'm be bringing on soon, some of the mediums they're tinkering with and some of the stuff they're experimenting with or whatnot, like, it's incredible. It really is. I genuinely mean it when I say if you have not had a chance to witness an Alpine stream, just trust me when I say you need to go to their stream. I mean, if nothing else, like, certainly take some form of inspiration from them. Because if this is something that they truly do enjoy and something that they are willing to put in that time and effort to make something cool and incredible, imagine what you're willing to do. Imagine what you would be capable of doing. I know you can do some incredible stuff. I've seen what you guys have been able to do. You guys, like, I don't think you guys give yourselves enough credit for just how incredible stuff you're able to create. Like, every single time, especially those that are close to me or whatnot, like, I'm talking specifically to you. Anytime I get to see your art, anytime I get to see you get to experiment and try new stuff, I'm always going to be championing it. I'm always going to love it. And I'm always going to crave more of it. So please do me a favor. If you... sincerely, keep up the incredible work. Because you guys are doing incredible stuff.